Hey, I'm Andrea Olson, and I'm at the CCM Cafe. Well, I'm from Minnesota, and so I live there with my husband. We have three girls, and I have been a worship leader in local churches around Minnesota for the last 16 years. And, really grew up in that worship atmosphere. My parents were worship leaders, and so they cultivated that from a young age. But I have just grown in my passion for the local church, and I love to write songs that the church can sing. And so when I often will go into churches and work with their teams doing workshops through a ministry that I started called Overflow Worship. And so when I get to go into those churches and, do a tactical training like, keyboards or band, I love hearing their stories, and I love hearing the things that they're facing, the prayers that they're praying, just the journeys that they're on. And that's really what inspires the songs that I write. I feel like the church's stories are in these songs. And so they're special to me in that way. And so I'm here in town in Nashville this week because I'm going to do some writing with some friends to gear up for another worship project later in 2022. I pursued music, 10 years ago, and like writing, and I did an EP in Nashville and worked with some amazing people, and it just wasn't God's timing for me at that point. You look back in your past self and you're like, well, I wasn't ready. And I know that now, and I think that this journey that he's brought me on through this ministry that I started, Overflow Worship, has been the early steps of relationship building. And so he's allowed me to meet some really great people in the industry down here that I maybe never would have met, but we connected because they came and spoke at my conference or sang at the conference, and then I was able to cultivate relationship. And for me, that's where it's the foundation is, and that's where it started. And so really in the last 2 years is where it started to move, where I've found the right people to work with and found the right people who can help me start getting some airplay. I have had some airplay, got to do a collaboration with Meredith Andrews where she featured on Monument, actually. And so just those little steps like that have been a great foundation. And I feel like in 2021 was a year of great growth, of releasing more music and seeing it, get some plays and, that kind of thing, and people connecting with it. So it's really been about those relationships, if that makes sense. I don't know if that directly answers the question, but that's what it's been like for me. Yeah, the goal is for an EP. So we're probably going to do 5 or 6 songs. And last year I did just individual singles. So this is, I feel like, kind of the next step. And so really wanting to, again, use all of the stories and experiences that I've kind of gathered and put them into song that the church can sing, and not only bring them to the community that I have locally, like you said, but to the broader masses. Yeah, I mean, I'm on social media at Andrea Olson Music, and my website, andreaolsonmusic.com. There's all the email and contact forms, and I love connecting with people, so I'd love to connect with people in that way.